All right, so we're going to be writing equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. And I picked the point slope formula because it's the easiest one to work with. And I picked something that was colorful and vibrant and something that draws your attention. So the point slope formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And then we have the blue one is the slope. So that's slope. So in blue, we talked about the slope in the previous video where parallel slopes have the same slope and perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes. So we practiced that in Objective 2. So that's what's going to go here, is we're going to determine whether or not our lines are parallel or perpendicular. And if they're parallel, we're going to use the same slope. And if they're perpendicular, we're going to use the negative reciprocal slope. Now my point, my y1, x1, that's going to be the coordinates of the point on the line. Okay, and that's given to us. They give it to us as part of the problem. So this is the formula we're going to be using. We're still going to be using the fact that parallel lines have the same slope and perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes. So let's look at the type of questions you're going to be working on. What is the equation of the line that passes through the point -5, -2 and is parallel to the line x minus y equals 5? The first thing we want to do is we want to get the slope of the new line from the given equation. So my given equation is going to be the x minus y equals 5. That's my given equation, and it is not in slope-intercept form. It's not in y equals mx plus b, but I need to put it in y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to solve for y. I'm going to subtract x from both sides. I get negative y is equal to negative x plus 5. And then the number in front of y is negative. That's really a -1. So I'm going to divide everybody by -1. And I have a double negative with negative x and 1. So that's going to turn to a positive. And my final equation is going to be y equals x over 1 is just x. And then positive 5 divided by -1 is -5. So what do you think the slope of my new line should be? Well, my slope is the number in front of x. I don't have a number here, but there is implied that I have ax, which is 1. So my slope should be 1. Now, my point is given to me in the problem. -5, -2. So there's my x1, there's my y1. Now I'm going to substitute in the new slope. Okay, so here's my new slope and the point from the problem into the point slope formula and solve for y. So I have y minus y1. y1 is labeled -2 equals m. I'm using the m here. And that's going to be 1 times x minus x1, which is -5. So I do need to clean this up a little bit because I do see some double negatives. So I do want to clean those up. Double negatives turn to positive. So it's going to be y plus 2 equals 1 times x plus 5. Now anything times 1 is itself. So technically we would want to distribute that 1. But 1 times x is x. 1 times 5 is 5. I just get what's inside the parentheses, x plus 5. Now I'm still going to solve for y, so I need to subtract 2 from both sides. And I get my new equation is y equals x plus 3. X plus 3. Now why did I use 1? Remember, we have a keyword here that's parallel, and like we discussed on the previous slide, parallel lines have the same slope. Parallel lines have the same slope, so I use the same slope that I had in the equation, which was 1. Okay, so this is our final answer. This is going to be y equals x plus 3. That's my parallel line through this particular point. Okay, next. What is an equation of the line that passes through the point -5, 7 and is parallel to the line x plus 5y equals 10? So this time I do want to focus on the keyword. So that is going to be parallel, which means they're going to be the same. I need to get the slope because I have it in standard form, x plus 5y equals 10. And I need to change that into y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. I get 5y equals -x plus 10. Then I'm going to divide by 5. And my y is going to equal -1/5. Again, that 1 is in front of the x, plus 2. So, what do you think my new slope should be for number 1 here? The lines are parallel, so I'm going to be using the same slope. So I'm going to be using slope -1/5. Okay, so I'm going to be using the same slope, -1/5. Now I'm going to substitute that new slope and point into the point slope formula, and then I'm going to solve for y. So -5 is my x1, 7 is my y1. And I'm just going to substitute those in. So I'm going to have y minus 7 equals -1/5 times x minus -5. Okay, do need to clean up that double negative, so I'm going to have y minus 7 equals -1/5 times x plus 5. Okay, I do need to distribute that -1/5, so everybody gets multiplied in the parentheses by -1/5. So I get y minus 7 equals -1/5 x. And -1/5 times 5 is -1.
Attention staff and students.
Okay, so just to reiterate that last step, I distributed. I multiplied by -1/5 to everybody inside the parentheses. That gives me -1/5 x. -1/5 times 5 is -1. That's because 5 divided by 5 would equal -1. And then I need to solve for y by adding 7 to both sides. So my new equation is going to be y equals -1/5 x plus 6. That's going to be my new equation. That's going to have the same slope as the line up here in the problem, and it's going to pass through that point in the problem. Okay, next one. What is the equation of the line that passes through the point -1, -3 and is perpendicular to the line x minus 2y equals 14? So we're going to solve for y. X minus 2y equals 14 because I need to change the form to slope-intercept form. So I'm going to solve for y. I'm going to start by subtracting x. I'm going to get -2y equals -x plus 14. And then I'm going to divide by -2. Everybody gets divided by -2. So my new equation is going to be y equals, I have a double negative with x and over 2, so that's actually going to be 1/2 x. And 14 divided by -2 is -7. Okay, so I need the slope. And I'm going to need to go back and look at my keyword, because is it parallel or perpendicular? Oh, so now we have a perpendicular line. So now that my slope is 1/2, my perpendicular slope is going to be the negative reciprocal of 1/2, which means I'm going to take 1/2, I'm going to flip the numerator and denominator. That's going to give me 2 over 1, and then I need to take the opposite sign. So if this one is positive, then this one is negative. So my new slope is -2. -2 over 1 would simplify to -2. So the new slope I'm going to be using is -2, and I have x1, y1. There's my point, and I'm going to substitute that into our formula. Y minus -3 equals -2 times x minus -1. Do need to clean it up. I have some double negatives, so that's going to give me y plus 3 equals -2 times x plus 1. Then I'm going to need to distribute that -2. -2 gets multiplied to everybody inside the parentheses, so I get y plus 3 equals -2x minus 2. And then I'm going to continue to solve for y by subtracting 3. So my new equation that's perpendicular is going to be y equals -2x minus 5. So y equals -2x minus 5. That's the equation of my new line that is perpendicular. Okay, we have our next problem. What is an equation of the line that passes through the point -3, -1 and is perpendicular to the line x minus 2y equals 6? Alright, so I first need to get the equation into slope-intercept form, so I need to solve for y. That means I need to move my x term, so I'm going to subtract x from both sides. I get -2y equals -x plus 6. And then I'm going to divide by -2 on both sides. Everybody gets divided by -2. And then I get y equals, the double negatives will turn to positive, and that will give me 1/2 x. And that'll give me -3 as the y-intercept. Again, I'm going to focus on the slope, the 1/2. And again, it's going to be perpendicular. Perpendicular, that means I need that negative reciprocal. So I'm going to take the 1/2, flip it, so it's going to be 2 over 1. And if this one is positive, then my new one needs to be negative. And again, I get another slope of -2. So I'm going to use my new slope, m equals -2. And I have my point, -3, -1. So it's going to be x1, y1, and we're going to have y minus -1 equals m is -2 times x minus -3. Okay, I do have some double negatives that need to be cleaned up, so it's going to be y plus 1 equals -2 times x plus 3. Then I need to distribute that -2, so everybody gets multiplied by -2. So we get y plus 1 equals -2x minus 6. And then to continue to solve for y, I need to subtract 1 from both sides. And our new equation is going to be y equals -2x minus 7. So this is going to be the equation of our new line that is perpendicular to this one and passes through that point. Now it's going to be your turn to show me you can do this.